We're seeing a little weakness in the market, so let's take a look what we can expect for this year historically, so the downsides but also the upsides. Let's take a look at some projects that I'm looking at which are quite interesting and how the rest of the year might go because there is like I think the last chance right now to prepare. So like the video if you do like it already, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on, you know how it goes. First off, let's start with Bitcoin. It's a new week. The stochastic RSI is resetting, as you can see right here. Which it doesn't mean that once we are oversold that it's right away a good time to buy it, so please do keep that in mind. Like for example, here we were resetting as well and we just went into the oversold territory, but we still went from 30k all the way to 15k. It just means that in around that area it is a time where we can reset, but it could take weeks or months during a downtrend while before we finally go up. So keep it in mind. Good buying opportunities are coming, but this doesn't suggest that the local bottom is in at all. Matter of fact, it depends. Like Bitcoin has a very strong support sitting here at $40,000. It's been retesting that for like 2 months almost, and it's holding it. But you know, the longer you knock on the door, eventually it will break, right? And once it breaks, I think that the bull market support band comes in. Well, by that time, maybe $38,000. It now comes in at around 37, 36.7. If we do now go down, that might be a big area of support. And in a couple of weeks, it could be a little higher, but the upper 30s are very possible for Bitcoin. Let's have a decent retest after that we quite mooned for like more than a year already, right? If we do take a look at the altcoin market collectively, it's basically following the same structure, right? If we do take a look at Bitcoin, it went down since the top, let's take the absolute peak of it to where we are right now. It went down with 16%. These are normal corrections during a bull market. If you do take a look at the altcoin market, it's quite around the same, I think. Yeah, it's 16% as well. And it's understandable as the Bitcoin dominance in that period, you know, it went up, it went down, but it's kind of sideways overall. So the Bitcoin dominance is not really doing much. It's showing a little weakness right here. And if we do take a look at the Bitcoin dominance, excluding stable coins and Ethereum, so we just compare Bitcoin to altcoins, you can see, let me remove this thing. You can see that it is showing some form of weakness. I mean, it was making lower lows and lower highs, but we have a high right here and we had a lower high right here, but it is still holding this trend line. So the dominance, it is still bullish-ish, but it is starting to show some weakness and it's below the bull market support band for the first time in more than a year right now, and that's a very negative signal, and that in this case means that altcoins maybe are going to look more bullish than Bitcoin finally. So hey, if you are in altcoins, you can maybe expect some upside on their Bitcoin pair, which is really nice, of course. When looking at the rest of the market, it's all, you know, not falling hard, but every day a little bit, right? And eventually that adds up. Of course, there are days where it's green, but if we, for example, take a look at AVAX, you know, AVAX every week it is losing a little bit, although we do have these green weeks. But if you take it from the top until where we are right now, it already lost 36%. Yeah, and in my opinion, it is very likely that it goes to, let's say, $26. Let's hope it holds. Otherwise, $23, which is major support. And it sounds negative, but on the other hand, if you can get a good coin on another 28% discount, hey, you have more coins for the same money, which will make you more money in the bull market because, you know, AVAX is a coin that's probably likely to do very well if the market does well. And, you know, there are many like that. If you do, for example, take a look at Vulcan Forged, a coin that I like a lot as well. I'm super blind because I can't find it. Right here it is. I've said many times before, like it should test, like it was in this range, right? That's kind of how I'm trading it. It was in this range for a long time, for more than 1.5 years. It broke out. And usually after a breakout, you want to wait for a retest. And you want to buy that retest, right? So if you see a move like this, like it breaks out, you can buy the breakout and feel like, oh yeah, it's going up only. Usually you will see a move like this, retest, and then up. I'm gonna wait for the retest. In that case, I'll probably buy at the same level as where we are right now. It's not about that though. It's not only about reward, it's also about risk, right? Because the risk here is higher than if it does a retest and you then buy it, right? Because then this retest is confirmed. For all we know, for now, it might go down and it eventually breaks. And then your entry is worse than what it could have been. So I know it's a patience game, and that's sometimes super hard, but it does pay off. Now there are always coins that outperform, like Ronin Chain, absolutely beautiful. It now seems to getting rejected at 0.382. I am taking some profits off the table with Ronin Chain right now. I've made quite some money. My average entry was like 40 cents, which was here, because you saw this resistance right here, and I gambled my way into it. Like, okay, then this might be support, right? Was stupid, because same case, it went down. So this wasn't a great trade. I was lucky. But now it's up 5x, and I feel like, okay, yeah, I should take some profits, of course, and put it into something else. So I'm taking some profits on Ronin, although I think it could go way higher in the future, for sure. But major resistance, right? Major resistance right now. And not everything is up only. And I do expect Ronin to, at least retest that 140 level at some point. So if I take my profits right now, then I can buy it back like 37% cheaper maybe. Yeah, that's a great trade, right? That's a great trade. I can, of course, hold on because I'm afraid to trade, and then it goes down and it might range for a bit, and maybe it breaks down and eventually it goes up. But all the time my bag did nothing, right? And if I now take my profits, then I can buy it a lot cheaper. So I have a way bigger bag. And if it does go up even more, I'm fine because I'm not taking all my profits. When I talk about taking profits right now, I don't mean get all out of it. 20%, something like that maybe, right? 20%, take it out, put it into something else. And I'm putting it into Beam, for example, right? Beam is if you look at Beam, it's a great project, and I think it could do absolutely well. And it's clearly in this range right here as well. You can take it like, maybe you could take it like this, like give it take, tomato. This is the range. Hey, it's now at the lower side of the range. For the last 1.5 months, this has been an easy trade, right? Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, right? Take the trade, I would say. So that's what I'm doing as well. Like, and I don't mind holding Beam for the long term because it's just such a great project. I love it. I love what Beam does. And could this be a 20x potential coin, which is relative safe? In my opinion, it could, definitely. And some coins are showing some pretty big weakness. C5, for example, had some big support over here at around $3, but it broke. And now my next target is between 230 and 260, give or take. That's a level of interest right here. And if we go back, we'll probably see some more resistance here. And even more like, well, yeah, a little higher than there, but also some good support. I do think that C2Fi can give us a slightly better entry. Altora is what I'm definitely looking at as well. Altora is it's building, man. It's building, and this is a project that for the long term, yeah, these are all great entries probably, but if you buy it anywhere, in my opinion, between 3.6 and 4.5 cents, that's the golden pocket. that seems to be a very good area for Altora. Another one that I really like is Spartadex. Spartadex is the first gamified DEX on Arbitrum. And it is a launchpad, and they exclusively released G Swift in the public sale. And G Swift did fantastic, right? Now they have a lot of more good projects in the pipeline. And I think that around this price, that's so beautiful about Fibonacci tool, because from what I remember, if you take it, then you will see, yeah, how perfect do you want it to be? It went down, bounced exactly off the 0.618 and went up, right? So only based on the Fibonacci tool, you could have made a trade of 36%, right? On leverage, it's a lot more. I don't know if you can trade as leverage or not, but it's such a great tool to use, really. So for the people that don't use the Fibonacci tool, I would say take these settings, use it, okay? It's not like a crystal ball. It can predict stuff. Well, it's not guaranteed to predict anything accurate for you, but in this case, it was pretty damn accurate, right? So this is a great tool to use. IMX also is a project that I would love to accumulate, but it is in price discovery, and it seems like it has topped out in that price discovery and therefore already came down quite hard with 28%. And why do I say price discovery? Because you feel like it's not in the all-time high. Well, if you do take a look at market cap, it is far beyond its all-time high. And it doesn't mean it can't go up more. I think IMX could actually be a top 20 project in the next top of the bull run. But yeah, chart-wise, I do feel like, hey, where's the retest, right? Also, big range right here, huge support, resistance right here, a lot of resistance right here, and then it broke out. You know, retest it then. I don't know what Fibonacci tool says about this. My entry will be around 141, 160 anyway. But if you take this, yeah, it's exactly where this golden pocket comes in as well, right? The 618 even sits at 130. So that's a very interesting place to buy some. Well, a little bit about Spartadex, by the way, before I move on, because I really love what they are doing. This is actually bullish news, right? GameSwift, and if you don't know G Swift, do check it out. It's like people always bullish on Gala, and well, G Swift could be the next Gala when you want to compare something. G Swift just announced that Spartadex will be officially supported DEX and Launchpad on their chain, as Launchpad tokens often perform amazingly well at the beginning of a bull run, and this step will make more new projects use Spartadex to launch. The utility for Sparta is increasing. And that's definitely true, because you do need to hold the Spartadex token to be liable for these launches, right? So do check it out. I think that this is a very interesting one. Also, if you take a look at the market cap of Spartadex, this is for a good launchpad, like $12 million. $12 million. And the fully diluted 60. I know it's a lot higher, but in the bull market, no one really cares about market cap, fully diluted, because money is coming from every angle, right? It doesn't fucking matter. Look at Gala last bull market. Like, fully diluted, terrible, right? But it didn't matter. It was ripping. People don't care about that. It's not that it's all getting vested in one single phase of the market anyway. Now, a little bit about Bitcoin, for what to expect this year, at least what I expect this year. If you take, it's now 2024. I'm sure you have heard that before. And if you do believe in a 4-year cycle like I do, you can take a look at 2024 and compare it with 2020, 2016, and 2012. Right? So let's take 2020, 2016, and 2012. What you see is that usually at the beginning of the year, we go down. Right? And every year we went down, basically. And so far it is really, doing what 2016 did, by the way. The green line, it's following it quite well. We can take an average of all these years. So that's the election years, right? And put 2024 over it. And you can see that usually we don't do much. We go down. And that's where people get scared, right? Because, but halving, like, why do we go down? And everything is bullish because we now have an ETF and this and that and that and that. People get, shocked out of the market right here. And then, what 72 days is like 2 months, 3 months, what, January, February, March, well, April, May, give or take, close to the halving. We start to, do well again, and then blap, halving, and we go up. On average, I'm not saying that we will do exactly what we do on average, but hey, therefore it's average. We first go down, but then we go up. And on average, we end up with a 3x, right? Average. Now, from the beginning of the year. So if we do this year what we do on average, right? Again, I'm not saying here that, can I get a clean chart, please? Again, I'm not saying that we will do this, right? But then again, these are the averages. Okay. So where did we start this year exactly? I think it was like $42,000, something like that. We started at, $42,000. So if we do what we do on average, then yeah, we can go down first. But overall, we should end the year at $120,000. It sounds ridiculous, I know. Because that 100K is a psychological barrier for a lot of people, I think. But again, like a lot of people, they look at like, this time is different, diminishing returns. Now we have this, it's like, this is the average, okay? It cannot be more like accurate statistics than that, right? It's not me saying like, hey guys, end of year, 120K. Maybe we do 180. Maybe we go to 80. I don't know, right? Again, I'm not the type of YouTuber that claims to know, because everybody that does is lying. We all don't know, right? We can make our best guesses. I like to base my guesses on previous data and not on the narratives that we have this time, because whatever the narrative was in any bull or bear market, every bull or bear market played out exactly the same as the others, right? So the news, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, right? Therefore, I love to look at just this kind of data. But yeah, now that would mean that we will make a new high in the halving year, right? Is that what we often do? Well, 2016, let me put it on a monthly to make it a little more clear, right? We had the high here in 2018. So it means we should have made a new high in 2020. What did we do in 2020? December was here. We did it, right? We ended the year $29,000 instead of this 20. Okay. Here 2013 we had a high of what was it, $1,100. Right, so this would mean that 2016 we should have made a new high. Did we do that over there? No, we did not. We did not do that over there, right? So this is like already conflicting, right? Because one average says like, hey, we always do this, and the other average says like, yeah, we never do this. So it's hard to predict like, hey, are we going to make some new high this year? Overall, my thesis is that Bitcoin should be, and crypto in general, should be very bullish this year. Okay, should be very bullish this year. And how I position myself is not too much in Bitcoin anymore. Matter of fact, I took my profits on Bitcoin, right? And I'm happy I did. It's now lower. Don't know exactly where I did it. I think like 44K. So it's not a big difference. But like we also spoke about before, is that, sorry for the messy chart, to put some last TA on this, because I'm not really that much of a TA guy, but I do know this, right? If you take that Fibonacci tool again, right? And you take it from the upside to the downside, from top of the bull to the lows of the bear, look at the 0.618, right? 0.618, except this run right here, We came close, but after that, we got a rejection and we fell with 40%. Here, we went down, all right, went up, 0.618, exactly. From there, rejection, 40%. Okay. Here, this market, take it from top to the bottom, we ran up all the way to the 0.618, rejection, 53%, right? Even lower if you count the black swan, but let's not do that. And now, take it from the top to the bottom. Where did we go to? The 0.618, and we get rejected right there, right? A move, an average of at least 40% down would put Bitcoin at $29,000-$30,000, right? Again, I'm not saying it will happen, but this is what happened so far, right? So I keep in consideration that it also could happen this time. So whether or not Bitcoin goes to like 100K, whatever this year, right? If you bought like a lot of people at $45,000, right? And it will go to 100K or something, you make it 2x, nice, right? But if you buy it at 30 and it goes, you already make it 3x. Right? So it's not only about your exit, but also about your entry, right? Your entry is even more important than your exit, in my opinion. But that goes for Bitcoin. Like I said, I do think that the Bitcoin dominance, like we could have a push up, but overall, I think we topped out here at 74%, right? The dominance, it's like, I think we had this run and we can stay here for a while, right? We can range here for a long time. Like here as well, we were mooning and we went into this range in July 2019. And only in February 2021, so 1.5 years later, we broke down. Right now, we went into this range in June 2023. So, could it mean that 1.5 years later, which is end of 2024, we break down and get an alt season? Could happen, right? Because if you do take a look at this, every time we get the halving, which is the white lines, 8 months later, we go into an alt season. This alt season here, and here we had the other halving. 8 months later, we had our second alt season. Now we have the halving in around April. 8 months later, when is that? December 2024. Could be our third alt season, right? And yes, we only had 2 alt seasons, 2 real alt seasons. Unless you call this an alt season and this, but if you take a look at the real alt seasons, this one and this one, this was two lagged alt season, but still, we get a third probably end of the year. So that means that we still have maybe 1 year to really prepare, right? But you should not be just completely on the sideline. If you really have no allocation in a project that you really like, I would say, man, just DCA, okay? Because yes, I can have my price targets. Like for example, Seedify. Look at this chart. Man, it's understandable if you say like, oh yeah, this could go down quite hard. Of course. But hey, who knows, right? Maybe it doesn't. Just DCA, fuck it. If you can stand the temporary losses, man, it should not matter. It should not matter at all. Right? Now, therefore, I like to be in Launchpads, man. Like in pre-sales. Like if you look at Serenity Shield, for example. Serenity Shield is a project. Do check it out. I'll cover it again in another video. I covered it once in a full video. I'll do it again. But also this. If you were in this pre-sale, right? You bought at a fantastic price. It shot up and it holds up. Now I'm not saying it can never, go down anymore. Like for example, Hypercycle had the same structure, right? Went up, and then it go down. Like Chain GPT as well, up and eventually went down. But if it's a good project, it can sustain, right? Now Serenity Shield is also some kind of a project that I feel like, super low cap as well, by the way. No shill here. Like if you don't like it, you don't like it. Whatever. I like it, right? But a lot of like, if you do take a look at Seedify, therefore I love Seedify. They release the best projects, man. It's absolutely incredible. At the day of recording, Storm Warfare is going to release. They had Farcana, which I really love. But they have the best projects. They have Anemelia, Haven's Compass, I like that a lot. Methodos, I like that a lot. Bloodloop, love it. Evermoon looks pretty good as well. Like, they have good projects. They're gonna release Xverse, which I made a huge investment in private sale for my own VC. Like, there's so much good stuff. And these days there are launchpads popping off everywhere, right? Because it's easy to create a launchpad. You do not have to really do much. Yeah, you have to do much if you want to do it well, but like compared to if you want to make a, well, whatever, there are projects that are more time consuming than running a launchpad, right? But the competition, like, you have to know where to look, right? A lot of people, they just look like, oh, well, Seedify expensive, and if you look at the allocation that you get, it's not only about that, it's about safety as well. Go and allocate yourself in a complete new launchpad, right? But it's high risk, high reward, of course. Seedify was the #1 in 2021. And I got a good feeling that they will be the #1 in 2024 and 5 as well. 2003, they were also #1, right? So, well, maybe together with ChainGPT, by the way. But I love Seedify, and it's, a lot of people say like, yeah, it's expensive to get in. If you are in tier 2, you get an average allocation, including first come, first serve, of maybe around $90, right? They're raising the allocations, $90, right? But you do have to have 1,000 Seedify tokens, right? And S-Fund currently will cost, if you want to have 1,000, it costs you, well, $2,800 to get a $90 allocation. But if you make like 3 10x's on a $90 allocation, you already have that money back. 3 10x's. And it sounds like, yeah, what the fuck are you talking about 10x's, man? That's hard. I never made that. Well, if you look at Seedify, the all-time high ROI, look, 10x's are not uncommon. 700, 185, 170, 109. And this was all, when was this? End of 2021. What was then? Top of the bull market. And we are still having that in front of us, right? Now, you won't sell this exactly with all your allocation, but still, if it provides you with 700x, you can at least sell it for twice that, right? So 300x maybe. That's crazy. It's crazy. So, yeah, this video is kind of all over the place, but I just love to speak my mind about this. If you do have requests like, yo, talk more about this, talk more about that, let me know. And I will definitely do that. I'm going to wrap it up right now. If you do want to see some exclusive content, by the way, I have a Patreon link down below where I give exclusive videos, requests, AMA, one-on-one calls, follow influencer wallets, podcasts, early moonshot calls, NFT calls, you name it. So super interesting. Do check it out. If it's not for you, it's not for you. I'll be here every day anyway. And otherwise than that, I have nothing to show anymore. So I'm out, man. Have a very nice day. And oh man, we're gonna make it. We gonna make it. But be patient. Be patient, man. And there's nothing that can stop us.